Of the first scaffold match to be held in the state of Texas.
At all times during this match, the aisles must be clear. This is one of the most dangerous matches in professional wrestling. Do not stay at the ring. Do not stay in the aisle.
This is the first one that you have seen. This is the first one that I have seen. And I admit that when I saw this match in the Sam Houston Coliseum on the day after Thanksgiving in 1984, my heart was in my mouth most of the time. You are looking now at the team of Loverboy Dennis Condrey and Bobby Eaton. They form the Midnight Express. They are part and parcel of this scaffold match. And the rock and roll Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, they are ready to go. And you see now, you start climbing, you get some idea of what the height of the scaffold is and the risk that is being taken by all four of these men in getting up on this kind of a contraption. This is the ultimate in exciting action. You could say we've lifted wrestling to new heights, and it would be absolutely correct. But these fellows here demonstrate the modern athlete who are willing to take chances and who recognize the fact that people who buy tickets are entitled to see something for their money. If that same spirit pervaded every sport, the world of sports would really be a great place. Now as we look in on the Rock and Roll Express who have come up there, we can see the reluctance of the Midnight Express come up on the other side, taking their time, getting up there slowly, measuring the steps. And Dennis Condrey, as he decides to come down again, is not quite certain that he wants to submit to this new and unusual punishment. Surely the manner in which he climbs up to the scaffold is an indication that he doesn't want to come down real fast. The extra time of this program, the extra time, the new expanded version of Houston Wrestling, now 2 hours, is enabling us to bring to you this additional match out of the history of Houston Wrestling. And Houston Wrestling has a long and proud history. Come 1986, we'll be starting 20 years with Channel 39. We'll also be starting our 38th continuous year of telecasting here in Houston. So look that scaffold over. Wonder whether you would like to go up the scaffold and face the possibility of a drop down to the canvas of the ring, or the possibility of missing the canvas in some manner and going an extra 4 feet down to the concrete. You keep in mind as you watch this that there is live wrestling at the Sam Houston Coliseum this coming Friday night with 20 wrestlers in action, the North American title on the line, 2 great tag riots. It's going to be a great night of action. Butch Reed defends the North American title against Humongous, and a tough guy showdown when Hacksaw Jim goes up against the Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer. So we've got the Midnight Express up there. They're on the track. And the crowd here, and it was a tremendous crowd. The crowd is rooting for the Rock and Roll Express as they come out on the middle portion of the scaffold, which is where the wrestling is expected to take place. But as Dennis Condrey finds out, the footing is a little bit insecure because the scaffold shakes sometimes almost imperceptibly. But as it shakes, it seems like they have mounted a huge wave to the people who are up on the scaffold. Ricky Morton looking over. He doesn't want to make any precipitate moves until he himself has felt out the possibilities of using the scaffold to good advantage. The referee, Carl Fergie, is down in the ring. Carl says, my mother didn't raise any stupid children, and I'm not going to go up and try to referee this from the top of the scaffold. So there is Dennis Condrey. Fans are screaming. He cannot hear his manager, Jim Cornette. They are all making it impossible for the manager to get his message across, and the fact that he is going now to great lengths to advise his boys as to what they can do and what they can't do is significant. There he is, Jim Cornette. The words are passing back and forth, but they're literally swallowed up. There is also referee Ron Westing, and Cornette is the object of a barrage of sound, the like of which the Coliseum sees just about every Friday night, but seems louder for this particular match. We're looking from the end of the Rock and Roll Express. You saw Robert Gibson make a jumping move out there. Looked a little like Jim Mack for a moment, but he was just trying to test the nerve of the Midnight Express as one of them advanced out of the corner, and it's Dennis Condrey who still has the job of carrying the load. Stick with it. These fellows are cautious for a good reason. There's no time limit on this match, but there is a penalty for losing, and that penalty for losing is that scaffold is 16 feet over the ring. There, they come to grips now, and listen to the roar from the crowd. And Bobby Eaton starts moving out, trying to help his partner, trying to lend weight, if you will, to the scaffold match. But he's not quite certain, and he could louse things up by coming out there with an uneven balance, and he's gone back to get some balance. And this is a dangerous match, extremely dangerous. As they get down on the floor of the scaffold itself, you see Ricky Morton holding his partner's feet, giving a little help to it. And now as Ricky moves out, he starts to blast away at Dennis Condrey. And that was the first good team match move that proves what's capable on this particular scaffold. Now Ricky has moved past, and we've got them pitching in there for all their worth. Dennis Condrey is on the left side of your screen, and here, as we look at it from the end, there was a close one on the edge of the platform that time. But Condrey's up. He's getting more confidence. He could become more dangerous as this moves into a new phase. He's after Robert Gibson. He's pounding Robert Gibson and biting at Robert Gibson, trying to destroy the clear vision that Bob Gibson possesses, and that in itself would be a dangerous thing to have happen up on top of that scaffold. Condrey using the scaffold, and Condrey staying on his knees, starts bouncing that face down. That's Bobby Eaton, and he's got Ricky Morton down on the deck, pounding away with that fist, finding the spot, and that fist comes out and clobbers Robert Gibson. Condrey up in a normal wrestling ring, but now that he has found out how this scaffold idea works, you can see that he's putting some of his same ring tricks into operation. The ring was carefully constructed, and all of us standing around at the bottom were just hoping that it would live up to its appearance. But there is Ricky Morton in trouble. Halfway down, he has not fallen from the structure. He has not come to the canvas, but he is now trying to escape the approach of Bobby Eaton, who is looking for every opportunity to pound at his fingers and to get him off the scaffold itself. So Gibson's in trouble. There goes Ricky climbing back up again and aiming his attack at Bobby Eaton. He doesn't want Bobby to the other side of that scaffold, to this side, and to help Dennis Condrey. So the midnight, there goes the reverse. Condrey is going back now with long, confident strides and taking on Ricky Morton as Bobby Eaton holds him down. That's a long change for Dennis Condrey from the manner in which he climbed up on that scaffold. And here he is now taking use of the corner and trying to force his opponent out to the center. And Robert Gibson that time literally rolled out to the center as he was knocked down to the deck. So we've got Gibson on the floor, and we'll be back here picking up the action from where it started in just a moment.
To me, it wasn't. That big dude with his big fist was hitting me, and I went back, and there was some. Well, I guess it was his girl, and I actually fell on her, you know? And then they hit me with a $5,000 fine. You know, the only reason I let her lay there, I was going to let her polish my boots, which I'm going to make you do, Duggan. You know what I mean? Did I get your attention, tough guy? Does it feel like somebody's sticking a stone through your body and grinding you all up? Does it feel like the devil, maybe, is sticking his hand, grabbing your heart and making you feel all kinds of pain? Does your heart hurt now? Do you know what it likes to have your loved ones crying, Jimmy, Jimmy, help me, help me? Well, Houston, Texas, you ever saw it, tough guys? Forget wrestling. It's going to be a hell of a fight.
I just don't know what to say about the situation.
You don't laugh. You don't laugh. You come out on national TV and you laugh at my poor lady laying there crying, begging for help. You woman beater. Let me tell you something, sir. Let me tell you, sir. You wanted a piece of Hacksaw, Jim Duggan. You've just gotten yourself the biggest piece of fury you've ever seen in your life. Guys, you knew exactly. Don't come out here and say $5,000 fine for what? You deliberately, maliciously dropped that 260 pounds down on that frail lady. She's not a part of this professional wrestling. She's my lady. Her family's not real excited about her going out with a professional wrestler. But that's her choice, and she does it. And what she do, she stick up for her men like any self-righteous woman would do. And Sawyer, you ran her into a turnbuckle. Well, let me tell you, tough guy, this is Houston, Texas, baby. And then if anybody in the world knows Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the people in Houston, Texas know. So when I tell you that I'll never quit until I get you, you better believe it. Tough guy.
Pick up this match where we left off with the pounding of Robert Gibson by Dennis Condrey up on the top of that scaffold, and the long leg of Robert Gibson out over the edge, and any part of the body hanging over the edge is just a little bit of an advantage for the man who makes it hang over there. So now Gibson has swung around, gotten his back to his partner. Ricky Morton's having trouble. Now you see Ricky Morton fighting back over there on the right and trying to bring Bobby Eaton down. So Gibson moving back just a little bit, and here he is using his feet. First time we've seen the kick on the scaffold, and you see it well placed alongside the bewhiskered jaw of Dennis, and Dennis is hanging on to the scaffold as that kick almost knocked him free. So now Robert Gibson with one of those famous wallops of his, and you bet that Dennis is having his problems just staying on the top of that scaffold. Listen to the roar of that crowd as Dennis Condrey backs up into the protection where he's got something on the sides and something in the back, and it's a good place to be while you're trying to recover from a siege of having almost been thrown off. So the same two, they can't switch opponents on this sort of thing. This is not a tag team match. This is a battle between the two teams up on the scaffold. And remember, this took place at Thanksgiving last year, the day after Thanksgiving. And we are planning another huge card for the day after Thanksgiving of this year, 1985. There you see, hanging from the scaffold, Bobby Eaton. And I don't really recognize Bobby. I recognize Ricky as he on the inside doing the pounding. And here you see kicking to remove somebody from the scaffold. And over on the far side, you've got Bobby Eaton hanging on. There he is, holding on tight and trying to fight his way back up as Morton with his now something brand new. We talk about going under the ring. Here he is going under the scaffold. Here he is shifting from one side to the other and looking for an opportunity to get up there and perhaps to catch Ricky Morton by surprise. There is no count. There is no count that could be possibly be used to make him get back up on the top of the scaffold. Dennis Condrey is down, and Robert Gibson rising up to his feet and getting set to move in. Here is Condrey. Condrey went over there to see if he could do something to help his partner. The Midnight Express now the lead here, but here comes Bobby Eaton, and Eaton moves over there to hold on to Dennis Condrey, and there was a right to the jaw that Bobby Eaton did not come over to collect. He was handed that one as a bonus by his partner. Robert Gibson with a little shiftiness, and everybody is afraid to use shiftiness up there on that platform because they can shift themselves right off of the troublesome spot. And Robert moves in there with a tremendous knee drop, and listen to those fans as they give him full license, a mandate to go in there and throw Robert Gibson out of the ring and into the 10th row if possible. And now we've got a Midnight Express trick. Something has been taken out of the trunks of Bobby Eaton. He smashed it in the face of Ricky Morton, and now he's coming over here. They're going to try to dispose of Dennis Condrey. Trouble for Gibson. You can see now as the camera on the floor just underneath the scaffold starts to pick up Condrey at his toughest. He is a tough man. They are a great tag team, whether you agree with the things they do or not. They have learned the rudiments of tag team wrestling and of team wrestling. And there is Robert Gibson, and Gibson's in trouble as his legs come off, and this carries an awful lot of his weight down toward the floor, and he's hanging on for dear life. Trouble for Gibson. Notice him pounding the fingers. Now he's trying to get his hands caught underneath so that he can hang on to the scaffold and not have his fingers step down. Look at that long leg. That long leg of Dennis Condrey comes reaching down, searching for Gibson. And Hibble, as the Rock and Roll Express gets Bobby Eaton off of the program. So we've got, off of the scaffold rather. He's got him down underneath, and Ricky looking for an opportunity to make this the part that tells. And as he pounds away, listen to the rock and roll chant. This is due to inspire the rock and roll. One of them's hanging, and one of them right now is trying to beat the Midnight Express to it by kicking one of their members off of that platform. Now Gibson fighting his way, hanging on there. He has braced himself against the steps. There's Bobby Eaton moving along now from one rung of the ladder that is part of the scaffold, and trying to move to the other end so that he can get in. And there was a drop kick by Robert Gibson, a swinging drop kick, and I have never seen anything like that in my life. And down goes Bobby Eaton down to the floor, and the Midnight Express has lost. The Midnight Express has been knocked off the scaffold. Robert Gibson is still hanging on, but it doesn't count now. The Midnight Express has lost. There is well, there goes Dennis Condrey. Condrey comes down, and both members, look at the uproar in the audience. Look at the tremendous excitement. That is the kind of excitement that Houston wrestling generates at the Sam Houston Coliseum whenever there is a show, and there is one next Friday night starting at 8 o'clock. I think you should be there.
The thrill of victory, and you worked hard for it. You know, Dick Murdoch is one of the toughest wrestlers that ever got in the ring. I've wrestled him myself. I know how tough he is. He takes the advantage of any break he gets, and that's the market. When you get a break, you got to take it. You took the break. You're the champion. Congratulations.
You know, Bill, I just happen to be the first to get the break and come out on top with it. You know, I'm as happy as any wrestler in this profession right now today because I'm achieving my goals right now. And right here, this North American Championship is one of my goals, but it don't stop here, Bill. You know, out there with Dick Murdoch, you know, just like he said, it's none tougher. And I just happened to take the break just before Murdoch did, and I come out on top, 1, 2, 3.
Well, I know you and I have talked, and you're on schedule with what you want to do. You came back and won the TV title, now the North American title. The next is the world's title in Ric Flair. But first, let's go to the dressing room. A lot of guys were congratulating you in New Orleans. Some of those guys are going to be challenging you, Butch, but let's join them in that celebration.
All right! All right, all right, put your rubber in there. A little champagne time to go here. I'll just drink it all. It's okay with me, baby. All right,
Hacksaw Butch Reed, the new North American champion. Butch, how's it feel?
Well, I feel wet right now, bro. But I'm hurting. I'm hurting, you know. Dick Murdoch's one hell of a champion. He's one hell of a professional athlete. He's just like a shark after blood out there. He was on my knee. I'm sitting there. My knee is swelling up on me now. And I know one thing about me being a North American champion, that it's only just begun. And I know that Murdoch is coming back. And when you come back, Dick, the same way you gave me the shot after shot at this thing right here, I'm going to be man enough and honor you with the shot, too. And it's still going to be a fight. And I'm still going to do all I can to hold on to this belt because one thing's in my mind. Ric Flair's next. North American title, NWA title is next. I'm looking to make history, brother. I'm looking to be the first black champion in the world. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, Hacksaw Duggan, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. What do you think of this man?
I watched that match, Jim Ross, and it was a classic match because I know Dick Murdoch. I know he's a man of integrity. I know he's a tough nut to crack. I know Hacksaw Butch Reed also is a tough guy, and I saw one great battle. My hat's off to Butch Reed, but I just want you and Dickie Murdoch not to forget one thing. That's Hacksaw Jim Duggan, like champagne too, along with him North American Heavyweight Championship belt.
All right, Jake, your thoughts on this?
What else can you say? I mean, the people seen the thing. I mean, we were back there watching and pulling. You know, we all have our favorites deep down inside. But one thing about this I can understand. It was a great contest, and anytime you put two men head-to-head and let them go, brother, I'm going to be there to see it. And Butch, man, I know you're hurting right now, but your heart's got to feel good, brother, because that's that first step for Flair. Step for Flair, man. He's going with it. I think he's got it, baby. You got it. Very good, man.
Tell Ric Flair to get ready, because this is the first step right here. You know, I've been North American champion before, and I know what it takes to hold on to this thing. Dick Murdoch knows. All the rest of the people that's done been North American champion knows that it's a tough job and it's not easy. It's not easy being the North American champion in the Mid-South wrestling area.
Well, Butch, some of those guys that were shaking your hand and drinking that champagne, they're going to be the same guys wanting to put their name on that contract for that North American title.
Yeah, that's right. You know, Bill, it all starts right now for a North American champion. Being a North American champion around here in Mid-South, it's a very tough job, and you got to be a tough individual to do it because Duggan is a tough individual. You know that, and everybody else knows that. Dick Murdoch, he deserves another shot, and I'm right here, and I'm willing, and I'm ready for anything that Mid-South feels that Butch Reed should do to defend his title. I'm ready for it.
Well, of course, I know your goal, though. Ric Flair,
right.
If he maintains that championship, or whoever is the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, you set a goal to be the first black World's Champion, and I think there's a new intensity.
I'm ready.
You know, Butch, Dick Slater, Mr. Unpredictable, he came here with a mission. This guy, without a doubt, is one of the most efficient, deadly mercenaries in wrestling today. He got $25,000 up front to take out the North American champion for Ric Flair. Well, after you won the title and you were in Houston wrestling, our cameras were there, and they went to talk to Ric Flair, and I think they interrupted something they shouldn't seen as they saw Ric Flair and Dick Slater. Let's join just this short film clip we got before they got run out of the dressing room. Like I say, Butch, we surprised some people there. I don't know how much money's in there, but it looked like a lot of money. Evidently, Flair is getting desperate. He's up in the ante because I think he's desperate because he knows you're pushing him to the wall. And now you got this title. He can't back out. But I say one thing. You got to be double tough to carry it because Ric Flair is going to sweeten that pot. Dick Slater's going to be coming. What are your thoughts?
Well, you know what I think about bounty hunters, Bill. The bounty hunters is a back jumper. And I tell you one thing. It don't make any difference to me about bounty hunters. Well, I don't want to say it like that because a bounty hunter is out to hurt me. And I'm going to do everything I can to keep this belt and to prove to the people and the fans and myself, most of all, that I am world's heavyweight champion material and that I am here to stay. And Ric Flair, your back's against the wall and you don't have anywhere else to go except to me, Butch Reed, right here.
Well, congratulations again, Butch Reed and Boyd Pierce. Give them something we have in store for them here
We
today.
really have something in store because this week you'll see the Mid-South Tag Team Champions, Wildcat Wendell Cooley and Al Perez in action. The Bruise brothers will be here. That's Porkchop's Cash and Mad Dog Boyd. Humongous is on the card. Jake the Snake takes on Dirty Dutch Mantell. The Fantastics, Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton against Mr. Unpredictable, Dick Slater and Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer, plus Hacksaw Duggan. Our great card. We'll return with action in the ring after this word from Mid-South Wrestling Television Network.
Matters works for Hacksaw. And Hacksaw Jim Duggan on the receiving end of a vicious match in Buzz Sawyer. Hacksaw outside the ring and topples to the floor. Carl Fergie starts to administer the count. You can see the bloodied Hacksaw Duggan trying to struggle to some kind of position to defend himself, but Mad Dog denying him that opportunity. Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer, and this is Mad Dog at his dangerous best. He's a dangerous opponent. You never know what he's going to do next. And that's a close-up shot of Duggan. As Duggan tries to make his way inside the ring, fans are starting to see some signs of life still left in the big Hacksaw. And as Buzz Sawyer set him up, and Buzz Sawyer just outsmarted Duggan on that move. As Mad Dog showing now that he is as crafty as a fox, as well being as mad as a mad dog. Reverse chin lock by Sawyer. It's not a sleep hold. It's a hold designed to wear down your opponent. The Mad Dog's smart enough to know that in order to beat Hacksaw Duggan, you're not going to be able to pin his shoulders to the mat until he is worn out. Until he has taken so much punishment, he can't take any more. As Duggan now shoots that left arm is a signal to the fans and a signal to the referee that he's not ready to call it quits. That's very important for him to do that because sometimes the referee can call the match. If he feels the wrestler has been squeezed into unconsciousness, that's why it's important for Duggan to shoot that arm out to let the referee know he's very aware of the situation. Houston Wrestling returns the Sam Houston Coliseum on Friday, November 22nd. The Coliseum, the home of Houston Wrestling, the roughest, toughest, most explosive action of the season. We urge you to get your tickets early, but we also urge you to stay tuned because the bigger and better Houston Wrestling is now 2 hours long on Saturday night starting at 10 p.m. right here on Channel 39 Gold, and also Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Be sure to catch us. And right now, Buzz Sawyer caught that turnbuckle right squarely in the face. Duggan is hurt. Duggan's in a bad way. He's right above us as we can watch the Mad Dog again take a bite out of the head of Hacksaw Duggan. Mad Dog trying again to drive Duggan's face in the turnbuckle. Duggan blocked it once. Duggan blocked it twice. Duggan blocked it a third time. Delivers Sawyer to the turnbuckle. Hacksaw Duggan, charging Hacksaw Duggan, caught the boot of the Mad Dog. Mad Dog's on top. 2, but no 3. As Houston wrestling fans are now seeing just how tough and rugged Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer really is. It's been a long time since they've been able to see a wrestler battle Duggan, blow for blow, kick for kick, bite for bite. But they are seeing it tonight. Hacksaw Duggan has been turning in a tremendous battle, but so has Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer. Duggan quickly got to his feet, but Mad Dog jerked there, done him back to the mat. Mad Dog holding on to Duggan. He's fully aware of the explosive capability of Hacksaw Duggan. He's fully aware of the fact that if Duggan's able to bounce back, it'd be causing a serious problem to Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer. And now the fans are chanting, punchy, punchy. That was the girlfriend of Hacksaw Duggan that was hurt due to the altercation with Buzz Sawyer. Duggan doing the crowding, Duggan doing the punching. And now Duggan making sure he has a better leverage, better perspective. Now he returns some of the Mad Dog's tactics. And chopping down the head of Buzz Sawyer has now got Buzz Sawyer bleeding. And we've got both men cut open. And in this match, as we've seen very few wrestling holds, what we are seeing is 2 big, rugged, tough men who want to fight it out to the finish. Duggan now laying it into Buzz Sawyer. Carl Fergie doing his best to keep this match under control. He's had little luck, and you can bet he was well aware of the fact that both these men came into the ring with this type of reputation. As their reputations are on the line, so is a lot of pride, especially in the case of Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Duggan going for small package. We got 1, we got 2, but no 3. Mad Dog going back to his tactic of chomping down, and we've seen a lot of that. That's what the referee's been warning both men about. Duggan coming back, that big right fist to his, and you see the way he rears back and letting it fly. Now they drove a forearm into Mad Dog. As the noise here in the Coliseum is getting louder and louder, Fergie running away the charging Duggan. Carl Fergie's down. Neither of these men wanted a referee to begin with, and now they've got it to where they don't have a referee. The Mad Dog misses, Duggan doesn't. Mad Dog tackles outside right here next to us. Carl Fergie's down in the ring. Buzz Sawyer's down here outside the ring. Hacksaw Duggan now coming this way, and we find a safer place to be. And that was Duggan introducing Buzz Sawyer to that metal ring post. As we've got blood over here on the floor and over both men. And Duggan now continuing after Mad Dog. The bell has sounded. I don't know what the verdict is because I heard a bell, but the match is being awarded to Mad Dog. So Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer declared the winner. Carl Fergie wasn't able to explain the verdict before he was sent back to the mat. Hacksaw Duggan now going to take matters into his own hands and make sure justice is served. Got Carl Fergie down. We've got El Corsario coming to ringside. As we have the wrestlers coming in, Duggan took care of that, because Duggan wants a piece of Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer. Well, we've got 3 wrestlers trying to pull off Duggan. Carl Fergie signaling for more help. The match is over, but the battle has just begun as far as Hacksaw Duggan's concerned. And Duggan charging back into the Mad Dog. As Carl Fergie has called for help from the wrestlers in the dressing room to pull this two apart. The Mad Dog holding on to Duggan, and Duggan swinging away as he was able to battle his way back to Buzz Sawyer. And you see it. You see Duggan. He wants a piece of the Mad Dog. The fans in the Coliseum are encouraging him on. Duggan, Duggan, Duggan. And Buzz Sawyer, he wants a piece of Duggan. As we've got nearly 8 wrestlers in there trying to pull these two men apart. They topple to the mat. Wrestlers trying to grab legs, arms, whatever they can grab of both these two men and pull them apart. The fans here are standing. Many are standing on their chairs. As the verdict was a victory for Buzz Sawyer, never got an explanation. And Duggan doesn't need an explanation. He doesn't need any kind of excuse. He's going to get a hold of Mad Dog and take matters into his own hands. And as they continue to battle just right above us, the wrestlers have not been successful in keeping these two men apart. What they've been successful in doing is catching the fist of Duggan, because anybody's been able to try to pull Duggan apart. Duggan has just cold cut him. Duggan not satisfied. Mad Dog not satisfied, and both men still not satisfied that they were given ample opportunity to settle their differences. So the Mad Dog's down. Duggan's on top, and on top of Duggan is about 10 men now trying to pull these two men apart. Duggan back in the corner. It looks like they're about ready to maintain some kind of control. But the fans here are chanting Duggan, Duggan, and this inspires Duggan into more encouragement to settle this with Buzz. Buzz Sawyer outside the ring, but he thought he was safe. But you're not safe when Hacksaw Duggan wants a piece of you. No place is safe when Hacksaw Duggan wants a piece of you. It looked like we had him under control. The Mad Dog was outside the ring trying to head for the dressing room, much like he's doing now. Duggan wasn't satisfied. And in comes one chair, and Duggan wants some more of the Mad Dog. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He wants more of the Mad Dog, and the great crowd here in the Coliseum chants their approval. They want to see Hacksaw Duggan get more of the Mad Dog. We'll be back for more wrestling action in just one moment. Listen to this crowd.
All our 10-minute time limit. In the red corner, the wrestling Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer. And across the ring, in the blue corner, his opponent, Rick James. Your referee, Tommy Gilbert.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's a bell, the Mad Dog. He's $5,000 lighter, Joel, but he is an animal. He is the Mad Dog, the one and only, and he's in the ring now.
Well, the fight certainly hasn't affected his physicality in the least. You just can't take away from him. You got to give credit where credit's due. This man is an awesome physical specimen, a tremendous athlete. There as he takes Rick James up to the top. We've seen him use this maneuver before. It looks as if he's setting up for that power slam. Oh!
Now, I'll tell you what, there's nobody else can do it like that, Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer. And his power slam, it is awesome, but as we said, the dark side is coming your way, sir, and back right after this.
Here on my left is Ricky Gibson, the brother of Robert Gibson of the Rock and Roll Express. He's come to deliver a message to the fans of the Mid-South. Ricky is a former world's junior heavyweight champion. He's currently wrestling in Florida, and he stopped by on his way to the Rockies. He's going for a skiing vacation. It's good to have you with us, Ricky.
Thank you very much, Joel. I'd like to say, I'd like to thank Mid-South, Robert and Rick. They're on the East Coast wrestling now with the world's titles. They are the world's champions. I'd like to say they got their start right here in the Mid-South before you people, and they wanted me to say one thing. They're grateful for y'all, and they're still getting your cards and letters. And one thing to the Mid-South, I'd like to thank you too, is letting me have this opportunity to come here and thank. And Joel, for you, Robert said, me tell you, give you his best, and you've got some great videos, and you've done some great videos on him. He would like for you to play one of his videos to see. I'm sure they'd like to see it.
I think we can arrange that, Ricky. Let's watch Rock and Roll All Night by Kiss.
anytime, any place, that you failed to read the fine print of the contract you signed, boys. I told you I was going to embarrass you, humiliate you. If you're so anxious to look like a couple of rock and rollers, baby, that contract said if we beat you, you got to wear this for 30 days, baby. You see that? You guys aren't wrestlers. You ought to be an aerobics instructor somewhere. So you got your nice little rock and roll aerobics tights. You won't need wrestling shoes. These little booties will do just fine. You lose today, it's all yours, fellas.
Turn the contract over, baby. Turn the contract over and look at the other side. Because if you don't beat us, then you're wearing them for 30 days.
Let me add a little something else, Mr. DiBiase. I don't know how you're going to get your big cans and those things right there. It'll be like trying to pound the garbage in a 5-pound sack.
Gonna look mighty funny doing it.
Well, use your own words. Enough said, big boy. Let's get this.
Hey! Hey!
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you, this tag team situation, as Boy Pierce made sure that he was not in the line of fire.
Hey!
Made a quick exit out of the ring. Now, let's get this all in perspective here, Joel. This non-title matchup, if the loser of the match, the team that loses will have to wear the tights and those very unorthodox shoes that DiBiase and Dr. Death brought to the ring.
An interesting stipulation, Jim. Oh, Perez went for that back suplex right off the bat. Dr. Death stopped him. A lot of fuel to the fire of this match. Perez comes out with a flying body press, but Dr. Death kicks out. The little quickening predicament for Doc. Both men rolling back and forth. These two men have such great amateur backgrounds, both of them. Perez hanging on.
I want to bring up the point just a few moments ago. Dr. Death showing a great amateur background that he has. Using the inside drop cradle. Double drop kick. A double drop kick from Cooley and Perez and Dr. Death. Well, he kicks out, and there's a quick arm drag takeover. Cooley's barring the arm. Now, Dr. Death.
Cooley is trying to keep Death down on the mat, but that is something that is tough to do. Dr. Death probably the hardest person in wrestling to actually hold down. Doc always seems to get up to a base. DiBiase with a hard body slam. DiBiase and Doc have been extremely aggressive. Of course, we saw 2 weeks ago in a Mid-South Tag Team title matchup. We ran out of television time, and of course, Ted DiBiase was complaining about that, saying that he should have been the last match on the card. Reverse arm whip. What a collision. After the TV time ran out, and the draw was called, though. Whoa, Cooley has him. Cooley has him, but Ted DiBiase reverses it. Jim, the action's so quick, it's tough to call.
It sure is. And I'll say this, Ted DiBiase going to the whale, it was strike. Wildcat Cooley's kicking off. Tremendous thundering drop kicks, and DiBiase, the tactician, is frustrated, and he's on the outside. The former champion's taking an opportunity to regroup a little bit as this crowd is solidly behind Perez and Cooley at this point in time against one of the more premier teams in wrestling.
I was saying before, 2 weeks ago, after the time limit ran out and the draw was called, a brawl ensued between these two. And I was surprised to see it, but Cooley and Perez had DiBiase and Doc on the run. They were getting the best of them. The fans here at the Shreveport Irish McNeil Boys Club really witnessed a tremendous brawl. Another hard collision, but both men keeping their feet.
DiBiase with a cheap shot pulling Cooley's hair. Now the referee's got Perez making a tactical error right here. He's got to get out of the ring, because if you don't, you're going to get your partner double team. In that situation, there's where DiBiase's skill and expertise and strategic wrestling maneuvers really pays off for his team. And I don't mean to sound derogatory to Perez and Cooley, because they're a young team. Their future's ahead of them. They're getting better each and every week, and Dr. Death's trying to brutalize Cooley.
Jim, they have to each and every week because they're up against, well, what many wrestling experts classify as the best tag team in wrestling today, even though they don't hold those titles. They are certainly a force to be reckoned with. DiBiase there with the lateral press, but Cooley kicked out. Now he goes for that side backbreaker. Once again, he has Cooley.
What a great television program. More great matches for you next week. The Nature Boy, Ric Flair, the world's champion, will be here. Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch will be here as well. And we certainly hope to see Hacksaw Duggan back.
Jim, that'll be an interesting situation with Flair here. I wonder what Slater's going to do with his bounty situation with Reed. Bear hug. Dr. Death really has Wendell Cooley. This could be the finishing hold right here. Taking the air out of Cooley. Cooley in tremendous physical condition. It's going to take more than just conditioning to get away from Dr. Death, as those headbutts prove to be the deciding, evening factor. Dr. Death pulling the feet of Wendell Cooley. He pulls him up, and Dr. Death is exhibiting great tag team strategy in this match, Jim. He is continually keeping that man in his corner of the ring, and Wendell Cooley gets out of the way of that elbow. That's a key move. Perez stretching for the tag. DiBiase stretching for the tag. DiBiase's on his way in, but Cooley makes the tag. Cooley made that tag, and he couldn't have made it at a better time. Perez is in. He's the fresh man. He's firing away. DiBiase and Doc drained after really exerting a lot of physical energy there. Perez with high elevation on DiBiase. It's a Donnybrook.
It certainly is. Everything it was advertised to be. Two of the premier teams in wrestling going at it right here on Mid-South. And the crowd loves it. The Irish from Neil Boys Club, as DiBiase and Dr. Death are in deep trouble at this point.
Perez with that super right cross of his. He really has DiBiase hurting. Dr. Death and Cooley with a hard collision. Both of them rolling out of the floor. Perez hammered DiBiase, and now it's DiBiase. Looked as if he was trying to make it out of the ring, but hesitated just a little bit too long on the apron. Perez with a high back suplex. Oh. Dr. Death trips him for the outside, and this could be it. It is!
Cooley was trying to, or Perez was trying to reach for the bottom rope, and Dr. Death knocked his foot off. So we have got the winners. You see them right there. Ted DiBiase and Dr. Death Steve Williams, and per the contract now, those unusual looking shoes and those black pants or whatever they are will be the ring attire for the next 30 days for Al Perez and Cooley. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back, because you're going to see the man, the North American champion Hacksaw Reed against Dirty Dutch Mantell right after this.
10-minute time limit. In the red corner from Altroff, Texas, Dirty Dutch Mantell. And across the ring, the North American heavyweight champion from Kansas City, Hacksaw Butch Reed.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, with Dirty Dutch Mantell taking a drastic shortcut. Perhaps he feels that's the only opportunity he has. And he throws a referee out. This match hasn't even started. The North American belt's laying in the ring, the 27 pounds of silver and gold. And Mantell is taking drastic measures, Joel, to take the measure of the man, Hacksaw Butch Reed.
There's a lot at stake here, Jim. When you got that 27 pounds of silver and gold out there, you certainly need to make it. There's the MX. There's the MX.
This should be it right here. He's put them all down with the MX. Referee says it's not going to count. Hacksaw Reed just powers right out. Well, the referee still has the signal for the bell. And Dutch Mantell is still working over Hacksaw Butch Reed, the North American heavyweight champion. I'm sure if Ric Flair was here right now, he'd be extremely pleased at what is going on. But Reed reverses the MX, and it's a suplex.
He most certainly does. A great move on the part of Reed. I think Reed, that pain and everything that caught him off guard, is starting to dissipate. The cobwebs are beginning to clear because Reed is hammering Mantell. And from here on out, Mr. Mantell, you're not going to get any quarter. Oh, there's that soup bone.
Soup bone downtown.
Flush to the jaw. Mantell is... I would venture to guess that Mantell is working on about half consciousness right now. Mantell up to his feet. Reed with the slam. Reed's going up to that second rope. Jim, I've never seen Reed this explosive. Oh!
So long, Dirty Dutch. He won't get up from that one. 1, 2, 3. The referee counts that one. Yes, sir. The referee counts that one. And Hacksaw Butch Reed, you see him. And Ric Flair will be here next week. He'll be here next week, and we'll be back with more exciting Mid-South action after this from the network.
Fall with a 10-minute time limit. Corner to my right, the red corner, Mr. Unpredictable Dick Slater. And across the ring in the blue corner, dressed in blue, Steve Dahl. 1 fall, 10-minute time limit, your referee, Carl Berge.
Hey, you got $25,000 for me, sucker? Huh? You want to take $25,000 off of me, boy? Huh? And let me something, girl. I'm black, and I'm proud of it, you hear me? I know what I am. The trouble is you don't know who you are. You trying to be something that you ain't. I'm going to tell you that right now. You trying to be something that you not.
Hey!
Well, bring your thing in here so I can talk. Let me tell you something, heifer. You know that black men don't treat women like white men when it comes to slapping on them. So let me tell you this one thing, tramp. When you put your hands on me again, I'm gonna knock you smooth out. And let me tell you something, back jumper. Let me tell you something, back jumper Slater. You got $25,000 to take out on my head. You a chance to make your money, sucker. I'm gonna turn my back on you, and you back jump me when I walk away. Take your best shot, boy. I'm sorry. Here. Hold it, wait a minute, Butch Reed. Just wait a minute. I'm going to tell you something right now. The $25,000 that I got from Ric Flair for the North American Heavyweight Champion, I gave him the money back. I don't want anything to do with you. I don't want anything to do with Ric Flair. You all can beat each other to death. As far as I'm concerned, you can win the World Heavyweight title. Hey, let me tell you something, Slater. You a lie, and you full of something I can't say on TV. But, sucker, I'm going to tell you this. This is the best shot you're going to get all night. So you better take it right now. Here.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is one explosive situation. Look at Slater. Joe, look at Slater on the monitor. He gave the money back. They're getting Hacksaw Butch Reed. They're having to... The referees are down here. Hacksaw Butch Reed was ready. I said he was the man. He is the man.
I gave him the money back. Flair's got the money back. I don't want a piece of Butch Reed.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, one thing is right. You better not want a piece of Butch Reed, or a very big piece for that matter. Gave the money back. Look at Slater. Hacksaw Butch Reed is ready. You don't think he doesn't have the eye of the tiger? Well, as soon as they get Dark Journey out of the ring, of course, he certainly doesn't belong. So there's no business at the ring, in my opinion. Dick Slater and a fine-looking young athlete in Steve Dahl will have combat. And we've got action here on Mid-South Wrestling. Jim Ross and Joel Watts at ringside. Thank you for being with us.
Dick Slater's just as aggressive as ever against his young rookie, Steve Dahl. He has taken the battle right to him, possibly fueled by a small degree of humiliation he just suffered at the hands of Hacksaw Butch Reed. He picks him up. He hits him a rear follow-away and goes for that lateral press, ties up the leg.
Well, he's a world-class competitor, Mr. Unpredictable Dick Slater. And this situation, and ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with the Bruise brothers right after the
Fall or 10-minute time limit. In the red corner from Orlando, Florida, Jerry Gray, and his partner from Puerto Rico, El Corsario.
There's that, of course, El Corsario. His partner will be Jerry Gray for this tag team encounter on Mid-South Wrestling. As you heard, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Tommy Gilbert calls for the bell at Porkchop's Cash, and El Corsario will start the action. And the martial arts expert from Puerto Rico trying to use his tactics, but Ka-Chain, Ka-Fisk, and Ka-Knuckles were introducing him to American style of wrestling.
Most certainly, Porkchop's Cash has got a thundering right cross. Well, he hammers you with it. He, by the way, has 21-inch biceps. Very strong bench press strength, and he can flat level you with that right.
El Corsario was very quick to get over and make a tag to Jerry Gray. I think he had all he wanted at Porkchop's Cash, that very unorthodox style. I'm sure there's no one like the Bruise brothers in Puerto Rico, and big splash! Mad Dog Boy, nearly 300 pounds, 1, 2, and 3, and that didn't take long. Well, they don't work by the hour, and they are bad. From Chicago, the Bruise brothers, and we'll be back with a special look at hot stuff right after this.
Our television time remaining. In the red corner, who wants it knows, never to be announced anymore, from Lexington, Tennessee, but that he lives in every girl's dream. Hot stuff, Eddie Gilbert. And across the ring in the blue corner, his opponent, Jimmy Backlund.
Every girl's dream, huh? Well, hot stuff, Eddie Gilbert, ladies and gentlemen, and it should be quite a battle between two fine young junior heavyweights. I think we can use that term, and both these men in that category, Jimmy Backlund, fine amateur background, and hot stuff with the biggest ego in wrestling, Joel, at this point in time.
Well, Hot Stuff's ego is certainly tremendous, but his athletic ability and his experience is really improving here in the Mid-South. He's faced some of the toughest people around, and I think he has gained in experience and technical ability because of it. Backlund there just about gained a fall on Gilbert, but Gilbert has really become extremely aggressive, shows a lot of fire. He's really explosive. Powerful young man.
Former Pro Wrestling Rookie of the Year, hot stuff Eddie Gilbert, has got a tremendous career ahead of him if he can just control his ego.
Firing away with right crosses. He's stunning Gilbert. Gilbert backs into the ropes. Backlund unable to take Gilbert off his feet, and Gilbert catches him with a hard knee lift. Oh, he sets him up. He calls that maneuver the hot shot, and he nailed Jimmy Backlund with it.
1, 2, 3, hot shot. There he is. Hot stuff Eddie Gilbert with his patented maneuver, the hot shot, and
So as that bell sounds, you're looking at Dick Slater. And Dick Slater, Mr. Unpredictable. His tag team partner in this event, a 45-minute time limit battle, is Dick Murdoch. So out on the outside of the ring, we've got Dark Journey, the lady about whom we know so little and see so much. Oh, looking in the opposite corner, it's Al Perez who is inside the ring. And Perez is doing a quick seesaw across that ring and waiting for Dick Slater to make a mistake, but Dick Slater is a man who doesn't make many mistakes. And Al Perez was set there to smash him with that right hand if he had just advanced a little bit away from that rope. So Slater's going in again. Al Perez is staying in. Perez is a fine athlete. He and Wendell Cooley hold the Mid-South Tag Team title. And now as they tangle again, it's Slater who made the first move, but Slater had that move reversed on him. A quick twisting arm lock, and it turns into an arm stretch for a man who has some long arms and plenty of muscle with which to pull that left arm of Dick Slater. Slater reaching out, Perez working with the arm solidly in his grip, shifting that grip around, trying to mold it to the movements that Dick Slater is making in his efforts to minimize the pressure. And now as the pressure is put on the legs and the arm, down comes Slater again, and he hits the mat solidly. Al Perez hanging on to the long left arm of Slater. Slater with that foot in his face. Notice there's one above the shoulder, one under the armpit. Each of them are able to push and control, help him with the pressure on the arm, keep stretching it, and of course on the shoulder itself, stretching the ligaments, stretching the arm itself, and Slater is caught between getting up and going down. Aren't most of us. But here is the pull by Al Perez. Holding tight. Dick Murdoch watching from the outside of the ring, and the Waxahachie tough guy is ready to move in there and do something about it. There's the pull. Perez is using the pressure, and that foot reaches out there, but it reaches out and doesn't catch anything. That's because of the length of Al Perez's arms. Trying to maneuver around. Slater trying to move into position. And the rise up into the standing position gives him an opportunity now to use his other arm and to use his legs to maneuver over toward the ropes. He's going to try to get the referee to break the hold. Perez broke it. Smart move. And he got his leg out of the way, which is another smart move. Hip lock. And he's back in there with that arm stretch. Murdoch on the outside, ready to come in. Our next wrestling in Houston, Friday, November 22nd at 8 o'clock. Houston Wrestling right here in the home of wrestling in Houston, and that's the Sam Houston Coliseum. Sam Houston Coliseum in town Houston, right catty corner from the City Hall. Slater, as he turns around, gets on those knees, maneuvers, and tries to get into that position that will help him. And watch that loose leg. He lost his advantage of the right leg. Now he's lost the advantage of both of them, and he's in a tough spot. Al Perez better do something about it. He got a foot under the chin. That'll help. But there is a foot from Dick Murdoch that isn't going to help a thing. And Perez is caught underneath it. And Perez is in trouble. Big, rugged, raw-boned Dickie Murdoch. And the crisscross, a quick move, a hip lock by Al Perez is a beauty. There as he falls into position, he comes up with the arm stretch again. This time he's got it on the arm of Dick Murdoch and getting that pull in there, getting that stretch in there. So Perez rode out that storm, and storm it was. So now as the arm is pulled, that arm is pulled tight, held tight, maneuvered, and Dick Murdoch has to figure out what he's going to do about it. I want to remind you that our tickets for the wrestling on Friday night, November the 22nd, here in the Sam Houston Coliseum, go on sale at 1919 Caroline on Monday morning. And we do that final event of the night, a $50,000 bounty match, and it's world champion Ric Flair's money. Butch Reed is going to meet Dick Slater. That's the man who's up in the ring in this battle. And it ought to be a crackerjack battle. It is. There's Perez back again. He goes for the arm stretch again and slips right into it. Is making his way over to his partner as Dickie Murdoch hangs on to his trunks and tries to keep him from making it. And Perez reaching out there longingly this time. As Slater gets in behind, and you saw the bulwark that stood between Perez and touching his partner. There's one, there's two, and Perez fights his way underneath. There's again. He's hanging on to the trunks. Slater was hanging on to the trunks and preventing Perez from getting out from underneath. This is a chance, perhaps. He's got to get by Slater if he's going to touch. I tell you, everybody in this Coliseum is on the edge of their chair. Everybody is at the edge of their nerves, just screaming for Perez to do something about getting his partner into the ring. And he ran into him that time. Al Perez, who needs to touch that partner. He needs to touch him, or this match is going to go down in the books. There is a drive into the ropes, and Dick Murdoch was responsible for getting the touch that time. He didn't mean it that way, but he raced it fast. Al Perez is on the floor, and now they've got Wendell Cooley as they roust him around the ring and start to go to work on him. Now he hands him over to Dick Slater and looks off on the floor to belt Al Perez with a few kicks. Perez has had enough kicks here to satisfy him for many matches. Now, on the outside, it's Doc Journey herself as she reaches in there to add to the troubles of Wendell Cooley. Cooley on the floor. So is Perez on the floor. Perez is off on the floor, and he is being helped by his second. Now that's Cooley. And Perez has gotten up in the ring, and Perez didn't touch. Nice work. Cooley's on the side, Perez is on the inside, and Perez drove those knees up into the hurtling body of Dick Murdoch. Perez is hanging on. So Al's fans get a chance to holler, and now Perez gets a chance to fight back. Again, Perez blocking that blow, then driving that wallop in there. And Dickie Murdoch there on the canvas gets up, and we've got help on the outside of the ring against Perez, and on the inside of the ring we've got Murdoch. Same. So Perez is in the neutral corner. He is one length of that ring away from his partner, and we've got Dickie Murdoch. Hit him up. Oh, he ran into that with a vengeance. Murdoch now lowers the boom on Al Perez, and Perez has been battling this match, and there we saw the feet of Dick Murdoch go up on that rope, and again, we've got the Dark Journey, who is trying to give the impression that she's shaking the rope and not Dick Slater. Cooley looking over toward the corner. Here is the blow, and now he's in a position to send one back, and another one. Perez now reaching in, and there is Dickie Murdoch, and Murdoch is again swinging the current to this battle from one side to another, and Al Perez is caught. Here goes Perez, stumbling across that ring, trying to get to his partner, and Murdoch gives him a back body drop and drops him on his head. Oh, how he hit. His head was bent with the chin forward on the chest, and when he hit solidly. There was more to go, no place. And Perez is in serious trouble. And as he comes off now, he avoided that, but there comes a flying pair of feet, and it is a beautiful move. A beautiful move by Al Perez that time. And this crowd is screaming, "Come on, Al, come on, Al." And there goes a foot right squarely in the kisser, and there's trouble for Perez again. That's Dickie Slater in the background. And as Perez looks longingly over toward the corner, he is in trouble. Now, rugged, rough and tumble battler Dickie Murdoch. 20 minutes have gone by here. 20 minutes, and Al Perez has been in the ring at least 19 minutes of that time against the switching opposition of Dickie Murdoch and Dick Slater. He's going for a small package. He's rolling him up, and he's gone two and close, and he touched, and in comes Wendell Cooley, and this time Cooley is in, and in comes Dickie Slater, and Slater catches it. Here is Cooley going after him and taking on one and then the other, and he's the man who is fresh this time, and he's the man who is dishing out the punishment. And now Slater is trying to get Perez into the ring again, and Perez is going into the ring, and now we've got all four of them in the ring, and the swing from one side to the other as Perez now is lambasting Dickie Slater, and we've got Cooley and Murdoch at it, and here is a drive across the ring, and down goes Wendell Cooley. There it is. There it is. A dive off that top rope, a swing. So there we've got Dick Slater and Dickie Murdoch, who have taken on Al Perez. Wendell Cooley was not his fault. He was not touched enough. But what a savagely fought battle, and the man who is down is Wendell Cooley. We remind you that our next wrestling will be in the Sam Houston Coliseum on Friday, November 22nd. Houston Wrestling is at home here in the Sam Houston Coliseum.
Duggan! I got it! No DQ! That means anything goes. That means we can fight all over the country. We can fight all over the world. That means I can bring my chain in the ring. That means I can do anything I want. And that's what I think of the people of Houston, Texas. I think they stink.
Mad Dog, you've got to be mad to face Duggan no disqualifications, especially after you deliberately hit his girlfriend.
What does it feel like when you go home at night and over your head there's a cloud, and in that cloud there's a blonde little skinny girl, old ugly hag's what I call her, and Mad Dog's about to say, yeah, I did it on purpose.
Seems like you're proud of it,
I'm
too.
proud of it. I don't like white people. I don't like black people. I don't like no kind of people. The only kind of people I like is the Mad Dog Duggan. No disqualification. No time limit. Houston, Texas! Come on, Duggan! Make my day! Tough guy!
Mad Dog Buzz.
Is Hacksaw Duggan, and Hacksaw Duggan has agreed no disqualification.
No DQ!
That was no problem.
DQ! You better believe no DQ! I found out, Sawyer. Okay, you are tough. You can take it, baby. But when it got real thick, when it got real tough, when it got real rough, you dragged your can. You dragged your can back to the dressing room with your tail stuck between your legs. And Hacksaw Jim Duggan, as all these people right here will tell you, as these people tell you, Mr. Bosch, I was sitting, I got myself a folding chair, I stuck it down, and old Hacksaw, I sat right down in the middle of the ring. We'd come back. The match was over, made no difference who won or lost. All I wanted to do was fight, and you took off.
And you don't intend to let him take off on the 22nd, is that right?
I ain't take off. If I have to bring my PF Flyers to run his can down, I'll bring him. Sawyer, you want no DQ, just stick in the mat in the ring, and we'll finish this.
So there you have Hacksaw Duggan. He will...
Bob, Hacksaw Jim Duggan and his girlfriend, Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer, Dick Slater, and his valet, Dark Journey. Well, immediately following the incident, the president of Mid-South Sports, Cowboy Bill Watts, called an emergency board meeting in Tampa, Florida. He flew there with the tape, and after reviewing the tape, ladies and gentlemen, the highest fines in Mid-South history have been levied against Dick Slater and Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer. Each man has been fined $5,000 for their participation in last week's act. Ladies and gentlemen, upon interrogation, Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer was adamant that his contact with Hacksaw Jim Duggan's girlfriend was an accident. Well, upon reviewing the film, perhaps, just perhaps, the first contact could have been considered accidental. But in our minds, and the board of directors' minds more specifically, the second contact with Hacksaw Duggan's girlfriend could definitely have been avoided. Let's go back 1 week. You be the judge.
Well, here's exactly what I mean coming down here now. You got Slater, Mr. Big Shot Dick Slater, coming down here, and he's got this thing along his side, and he's going to come in here and give me some lip. Well...
What are you talking about? You know that?
Hey,
You're the man who what it
Let me
is.
tell you something, Duggan. Don't you come out here and insult me and insult my lady. And I come to the Mid-South area, not for you. But if you want a piece of me, you have. Now, if you want to talk about ladies, that's a lady.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's right, baby. You tell him. I didn't come out here and insult your lady. I came out here and insulted her, and she's no lady, baby.
Well, boy, we got a Donnybrook going. We got a Donnybrook going. This was scheduled to be Duggan and El Corsario. But Dark Journey slapped it, Dick Slater's in it. And we got a Donnybrook going.
I mean it's a going.
Jim Duggan is a double tough hombre. And he and Dick Slater are tooth and nail. Here comes Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer. Watch out, Jimbo. Watch out from behind. The Mad Dog's attacking him. The Mad Dog. Jim's girlfriend. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh, I don't think Sawyer even realized. Oh, Sawyer!
Mercy.
Sawyer, he just dropped an elbow on her. Was that an accident? Was that an accident?
He put her out.
She is devastated. She is devastated. Now, it's both of them. Watch Dick Slater. My golly, he football kicked him. He football kicked Jim Duggan right in the face. Duggan's head split wide open. The referee's been thrown out on the floor. This thing is out of control. Grizzly Smith needs to get some referees down here. Jim Duggan's girl has not moved.
She has not moved. Jim Duggan is being annihilated by these two animals. We've got to get some help down here.
Duggan's lady is out cold, Bill. There's no doubt about it. She's out.
Here comes Cooley and Perez. Here comes Cooley and Perez. Murdoch, Sawyer, and Dick Slater. Jim Duggan crawling over to his girlfriend. Jim Duggan, I'm sure, came out to make light of the situation, to point out a situation, and everybody was behind him. And it's exploded into total chaos, into pandemonium. And his girl she is laid out. Everybody's coming. Boy, I have never seen anything like this. She's not moving. Jim's more concerned about her than his own injury. The crimson is flowing profusely.
She still hasn't moved a
She
muscle.
hadn't moved.
Not
Grizzly
a
Smith
twig.
out there, the referees. She is, again, I think the first moment, I don't think that Slater or Sawyer realized that she was on his back or what was on his back, and he just reacted, drove into the turnbuckle. And that second time when he got hit and was falling off balance. But it didn't look to me like just maybe he might have dropped an elbow, not caring. Duggan's got her up. Duggan has her up. We don't know her condition. I think Duggan's like a wounded animal protecting his loved one. I don't think anybody can really get close enough or get him calmed down enough to examine her.
No way. He has only one thing in mind. That's protecting his lady.
Boy, I think it points out again, this is not a place for ladies, and this lady has been battling her to Duggan's carrying her. He's carrying her out.
Once again, Sawyer and Slater have been each fined $5,000. On behalf of Mid-South, we apologize, ladies and gentlemen, for what happened here last week. Obviously, it was unprovoked. It was a surprise. It caught us all flat-footed, so to speak. We didn't know what to do in that situation, to be very honest with you. Hacksaw Jim Duggan is a very complex man. He's a very protective man, much like an animal protecting its loved one. We saw that side of him when he forsook his own injury to go to the side of his loved one. And we still don't know her condition. He's been very protective, very closed as far as her condition is concerned. But 48 hours, finally, after we asked him on several occasions, 48 hours after the incident, Hacksaw Jim Duggan made some comments. Here they are.
You know, friends, I'm okay. I've been split open before, and I've been beat up before. But during mass hysteria, during all the confusion, the two of them, Dick Slater and Buzz Sawyer, on me, tearing at my neck, biting on me, I was laying there all bloody, all beat up, and I looked across the ring, and I saw my girl. I didn't care about anything. I didn't care about the TV cameras. I didn't care about who was wrestling. All I cared about was my baby laying there all beat up, all broken, all bloody, and I crawled over to her. And she wasn't moving, she wasn't breathing, she wasn't doing anything. And I didn't care. I just wanted to get her out of there. And I picked her up in my arms, and I just ran out of the building. I took her to my doctor. And for the past 2 days, I've been sitting by her bedside because I told her as we stepped in the ring, don't worry, baby, you're with me. And then for 2 days, I've been sitting there watching her, nursing her back to health. And then I had to come here, had to come to the TV studios to see for myself if there was any way that a man could deliberately run himself and beat up a young woman. And I watched the tapes over and over and over. And I saw Buzz Sawyer deliberately. He knew who was on his back. He knew it was my baby. And he rammed her in that turnbuckle. And then when Slater tearing at my legs, I was fighting for my life, and I nailed Sawyer again. And then again, deliberately, he dropped that 265 pounds on my baby. Well, you can do anything you want to me, but you don't ever touch my lady. And I always pay my debts, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth.
Well, Jim, as you said, we've seen a side of Hacksaw Jim Duggan that's very loving and caring. A side of Hacksaw Jim Duggan that causes him to go to the hospitals and visit sick children, to be protective of his loved ones, but there's also another side of Hacksaw Jim Duggan. As his father, the police chief in Glens Falls, has said before, there's a dark side to Jim, a side that's hard to control. Buzz Sawyer, I think you're going to see the dark side of Hacksaw Jim Duggan all too soon. Let's go.
Baby, not just Hacksaw Duggan's any wrestling. That's my wrestling home, baby. That's my wrestling family. They're not fans, they're family. So what you did to my lady, you did to them people. So when you come out there parading around like a big, proud peacock, you're going to hear like thunder coming from the rafters, baby. You're going to hear howling. You're going to hear screaming. You're going to hear my people. And by God, when my people start chanting, I start snorting. And I'm going to go over and I'm going to take these two great AMs and I'll stick them on my side, baby, and I'll start stopping and I'll sight it on you with my one good eye. And let me tell you something, tough guy, you want a piece of Hacksaw Jim Duggan? Let me tell you something, you're real rough when you're coming from behind. You're real tough when you got a 115-pound lady to beat on. We're just going to see how tough you are, tough guy, when you come face to face with a man.
Tough Guys right here in Houston Friday night, November 22nd at 8 o'clock.
First of all, you got to realize, Duggan, I don't care about your family. I don't care about that punch girl. I don't care about nobody. And second of all, you got to realize, come on up here, you got to realize that the Mad Dog has fought a man's war of his life. I've got down there deep and I've fought them all. You know, you people have a short memory here. The last time I was in Houston about a year and a half ago, I left the legend Junkyard Dog down on the mat, 1, 2, 3. But now there's a new legend stemmed. There's a new man that everybody calls their hero. And that's Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Duggan. I wake up here today, Duggan, you come and make my day in Houston. I don't care about the people. All I care about is putting pain on your body. You make my day.
His opponent weighing in at 253 pounds from Atlanta, Jake the Snake Roberts.
The bell sounds and this match is underway. One fall with a 20-minute time limit. And your opponents, first of all, the man who is capturing the imagination of Mid-South wrestling fans and Houston wrestling fans from coast to coast. That's Jake the Snake Roberts, the man with the DDT. And now he's battling the Nightmare. And as one giant poster at ringside stated, Jake the Snake may be the Nightmare's nightmare tonight. So Jake the Snake Roberts up against, and that's who his opponent there, the Nightmare, managed by Sir Oliver Humperdinck, a very controversial figure in professional wrestling today. DDT echoes throughout the Coliseum here. That's the hold that Jake the Snake Roberts has made famous. It's hard to remember the last time a hold like the DDT has captured the imagination of wrestling fans all across the world, because they know when Jake the Snake Roberts applies the DDT, his opponents don't come back. That's the match. You can go ahead and write it in the books, because Jake the Snake, that's the way he wins the majority of his matches. That vicious. Well, he's got a slogan. He calls the DDT cruel but fair. That's the way he states it, and it's hard to state it any better than that. Jake the Snake Roberts, a crafty veteran, an experienced wrestler, a man who knows exactly what he's doing inside those ropes, but he's also up against a man, a former North American heavyweight champion in the Nightmare. Nightmare coming at you as a crisscross. Jake better be careful, because the Nightmare's a big man. And Jake scooted out. He used that opportunity to try to get his hands on Sir Oliver Humperdinck, and that's the fastest I've seen Sir Oliver move in many a month. Now he went for it, but he slipped out. You just saw Jake the Snake Roberts go for the DDT. The Nightmare saw it coming, and you can see Jake the Snake now. He's letting the Nightmare know that he's living on borrowed time. This match was almost history. If the Snake could have landed the DDT, it would have been all over. So Sir Oliver Hump trying to distract Jake the Snake. He knows how close his man came to facing certain disaster, because when the DDT talks, wrestlers listen for a long, long time. The referee for this match is Carl Fergie. My name is Peter Burkholz. These matches are coming from the Sam Houston Coliseum, the home of Houston Wrestling, right here in the Sam Houston Coliseum, the arena filled with professional wrestling tradition. You saw how fast Jake can be. He toppled the Nightmare to the mat. He goes for it again. Again, the Nightmare was able to slip out. Jake the Snake coming so very close to being able to slap that DDT and send the Nightmare way to Dream Street. Notice throughout the crowd, countless posters supporting Jake the Snake. Wrestling fans all over have become to respect the toughness. Also, they respect his style. Maybe it's much like his DDT. His style is cruel but fair. Into the ropes, the Nightmare trying to drive that boot. I mentioned before that Jake the Snake has a lot of ring savvy, and that was one good piece of evidence of that ring savvy when he was able to stop that boot. Sir Oliver Humperdinck, that time he succeeded. Throughout the match, he's been trying to distract Jake the Snake, trying to give his man, the Nightmare, any kind of advantage to try to gain some kind of upper hand. That time, Sir Oliver Humperdinck earned his pay. He was able to distract the Snake long enough for the Nightmare to take over, and take over he has done. Have gone by in this match as the Nightmare lowers the right to Jake the Snake's head. So far, the match has been mostly Jake the Snake. Just moments ago, Sir Oliver Humperdinck, the Nightmare's manager, was able to distract Jake the Snake. That time, he drove that taped fist to his when the referee wasn't looking, and Sir Oliver Humperdinck is in rare form tonight. He is earning his pay as he is doing whatever he can to give the Nightmare any kind of advantage or edge. Nightmare bearing down on him. The Nightmare now using that bottom rope, that rubber-coated steel cable, to continue to punish Jake the Snake. As wrestling fans know, Jake the Snake can take a lot of punishment. Carl Fergie issuing his warnings to the Nightmare, but those warnings are falling on deaf ears. Jake the Snake knows that if he's going to get out of this predicament, he's got to do it on his own. That's the only way Jake the Snake would like to do it. Nightmare on top. We've got one, we've got two, but no three. Mentioned before, wrestling fans know that Jake the Snake Roberts is tough enough to take punishment. As he turns, the Nightmare came crashing down off that second rope. He was able to use that extra elevation to its full advantage as the Nightmare's on top, but Jake the Snake finds that bottom rope. The Nightmare, so very tough inside the ring, especially when he has the likes of Sir Oliver Humperdinck outside the ring. So the Snake getting a few seconds relief. And as he bounces back, he's got a style that can literally explode up into his opponent's face. Now fans are starting to chant again, DDT, DDT. They have grown to love Jake the Snake. They have grown to DDT. That time the Nightmare drove Jake right out of that turnbuckle, and then Humperdinck followed up by tripping him. And no, wrestling fans, this isn't a tag team match. Even though there are times that may look like that, Sir Oliver Humperdinck is pushing his luck to the full extreme as he has interfered on this match on several occasions. And on many of those occasions was able to give his man, the Nightmare, the edge he needed. Sir Oliver Humperdinck. As he continues to stalk outside the ring, the Nightmare continues to drive those knees to the lower back of the Snake. The same lower back that caught the blunt of that charging Nightmare into the turnbuckle. So a driving knee again into the lower back of Jake the Snake. And now you can start to see more the effects of this continuous attack by the Nightmare on Roberts. Jake Roberts fighting back, trying to find that extra intestinal fortitude to bounce back after taking so much punishment. High in the air, and a backdrop, and a vicious backdrop to Jake the Snake. Nightmare's on top. We've got two, but again, Jake shows that ability to come back, not to submit. And believe me, he's had plenty of opportunity to submit in this match. The pile driver, Jake is blocking and reversing. A beautiful reversal by Jake the Snake. Now with a driving knee of his, as fans now start once again to chant DDT, DDT. The hold they have begun to love, and now Humperdinck distracted Jake long enough for the Nightmare to flip over Jake. And as he tumbled in, Humperdinck followed in the ring. Sir Oliver Humperdinck outside the ring. Now the DDT chants start up again. Jake the Snake. Better watch out. He didn't see the Nightmare behind him. Sir Oliver Humperdinck. Now to the DDT. You saw it. The DDT. We've got Jake on top. This match is history. Once the DDT's applied, they don't come back. Now Jake the Snake has his chance for Sir Oliver Humperdinck. Humongous. That's humongous who came into the ring. The match is over. Jake the Snake is the winner. But humongous with that devastating mask of his. Driving it in with headbutts into Jake the Snake. And Jake the Snake now is the victim of not just one, not just two, but three men. He's won the match, but it looks like the war has just begun. And Roberts, it topples out, his head cut open from Humongous. Humongous, the man who cut him open when he came rushing to the aid of Sir Oliver Humperdinck. Jake the Snake Roberts, the winner of the match. Jake the Snake Roberts is the winner, but he is laying down hurt here on the Coliseum floor due to the vicious sneak attack of Houston. We'll be back with more Houston wrestling action in just one moment.
Conference is for Mr. Dick Slater and Mr. Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer to lodge a formal protest in the $5,000 fines that Mid-South Sports has fined each man, the highest individual fines in the history of this company.
What a rip-off. What a rip-off. I have been all over this world, and I've never been ripped off like I have been since I entered the Mid-South. First of all, Hacksaw Jim Duggan has no business coming down in the ring and insulting my old lady and myself. Second of all, I've heard all this stuff about all this money that's been placed out on bounties. I gave all the money back to Ric Flair as it goes. Now, I've been here. I've been insulted long enough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take myself out of the Mid-South area because I'm sick and tired of treated with a lot of low class that the Mid-South people has treated me like. And as far as I'm concerned, take the $5,000. I ain't worried about the money. Get out of here myself.
Well,
I want to know what the fine is for.
You want to know what the fine is?
I want to know what the fine is for. Ain't that a daggone thing? I'd like to know what I got fined for. Because $5,000 means something to me.
All right.
I'm mad.
If I can have one moment of your attention, I just happen to have...
I don't want to...
We have the footage, and we have slowed it down.
No. I don't have to see that. I know what happened, and you know what happened.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
What are you talking about?
Let's show the film right now in slow motion. The board of directors of Mid-South. Let's show the film. Roll the film at this time. The board of directors of Mid-South based their opinion on this situation. In my opinion, Buzz Sawyer knew who was on his back. He turned his head. He saw that it was Jim Duggan's girlfriend. And as you watch the action, yes, Hacksaw Duggan put a big ham on Buzz Sawyer, but he was looking right there. Buzz Sawyer looking down. He knew who was dropping the elbow on, and that is as a result of that, it was no accident. A $5,000 fine. It was not an accident. Somebody's going to pay. Hacksaw Jim Duggan says Buzz Sawyer's the one that's going to pay. The fine stands. Let's go back to the president of Mid-South, Cowboy Bill Watts.
Well, I think you can see that Slater and Sawyer didn't want to stick around when the film was going to be put up in slow motion, because I don't think there's any doubt in anybody's mind that it was definitely on purpose by Buzz Sawyer. 260 pounds dropped on a 115-pound lady and annihilated her, plus the double team job they did on Hacksaw Duggan. And I'm sure, and you know Jim Duggan as well as I do, he pays his debts, and he figures this is a debt that's got to be paid in kind. Now, of course, I was surprised that Dick Slater said he's not going to be here, and so far he hasn't showed up tonight. I don't know if he's taking a powder, he's walked out, or what, but there's a lot of things happening. Right now, let's go to Jim Ross for our first live bout.
Ladies and gentlemen, your first event of Mid-South Wrestling, a tag team match, 1 fall or 10-minute time limit. Enter team in the red corner at a combined weight of 460 pounds, Steve Constance and Sean O'Reilly.
Porkchop Cash, the Bruise brothers.
What a way to start off as Jim Ross is the match. Steve Constance in the lime green tights and his partner in the solid green, Sean O'Reilly, as they take on the Bruise brothers, composed of Porkchop Cash and Mad Dog Boyd. Bill?
This match is unusual because there's a lot of the loyalty of the fans that split. Steve Constance and Sean O'Reilly, two fine young athletes, and of course the Bruise brothers, two well-experienced, rough and tough guys from Chicago. I think the fans like both of these teams very well. The Bruise brothers able to mix it up with the best, or as you just saw Porkchop's Cash, he can use some scientific maneuvers also. One thing for these young guys to get experience is to try them all. And these is definitely a very unorthodox pair they're against from Chicago, the Windy City. Got a lot of soul. They boogie right around. They love it. They're moving. Slamming and jamming as the Mad Dog Boyd comes. They said they're here to mix things up in the Mid-South. Steve Constance, the younger, showing a lot of promise. Fans really like him, and he's got the physical attributes. So we're going to have to see if he develops the coordination and the skills to compete in this, the Mid-South, the toughest professional wrestling in the world today. And we have the man that's at the top of the heap that'll be out here at the desk next. And we're going to ask him a few pointed questions. Ric Flair, the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, that's created a lot of controversy, but also is in the hot seat because Butch Reed's on his trail. Butch came back and won the Mid-South television title And then he defeated Dick Murdoch in New Orleans for the North American title. And he said the gold is next, and he's going to become the first black world heavyweight champion in history. And I just can tell by the determination and the way that he's after it, I feel he's going to succeed. Porkchop's Cash showing these guys be able to walk through any neighborhood, any way they want to. The Bruise brothers. Mad Dog Boyd. Big Sean O'Reilly, another big newcomer to Mid-South. I think they're a little bit intimidated by these guys. They got pretty rough tactics. Tag is made. The Mad Dog coming in. Porkchops didn't nail him. He could have. It shows that they do believe in the rules as long as the people out there against them feel the same way. But the Bruise brothers, by reputation, are a brawling pair. Big Sean O'Reilly came in. Oh, Steve Constance tried a maneuver that would upset the plans of Porkchops and Mad Dog, but it backfired on him. Just too much experience for these youngsters as the Bruise brothers, who said they're going after the Mid-South tag titles. They just got another victory.
There they are, boogieing. The winners, the Bruise brothers, Porkchops Cash and Mad Dog Boyd. When we return, the president of Mid-South Sports, Bill Watts, puts the hot seat to the man that's the NWA heavyweight champion of the world, Ric Flair. You stay with us. We'll be right back on Mid-South Wrestling Television Network.
I'm still another human being, another man. Let me take that back. Because, Sawyer, you're not a man. You're a woman beater, tough guy. And you're just not any woman beater. You're a Hacksaw Jim Duggan's girlfriend beater. And you know, you keep wanting that you want a piece of Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Well, let me tell you something, tough guy. And I mean tough guy. You just bit off more than you can, because you just don't do those things. You don't violate my woman. You don't disgrace me on national TV and walk around here proud as a peacock. You ask anybody in Mid-South. You ask any of my Mid-South family. Those fans that sit out there. Hacksaw Duggan paid this.
Up the next morning, and there was that accident-bound old hack of yours laying next to you. And what did you say? You said it was a Mad Dog. You're going to go crazy. You said the Mad Dog got dues to pay. Let me ask you a question. Did I get your attention, Jim Duggan? Tough guy, did I get your attention? Well, I want you to look at me, because never in the history of Houston have they ever seen anybody that's going to raise, you know what, in Houston Coliseum. Because, Jim Duggan, I want you to think of that old hag when you're in there with me, because I want your mind where it shouldn't be. The Mad Dog's coming.
It's with the great pride that I welcome you to Mid-South, and certainly you have the prestige and the eyes of the world upon you.
Well, Bill, it's always a pleasure to be here. As everyone knows, the Mid-South is one of the real hotbeds of professional wrestling. The association with the National Wrestling Alliance makes it #1 in the sports market. I'm proud to be here. The competition here, as I've said many, many times, is at the peak of our sports. The best right here in the Mid-South, and I'm glad to be here.
Well, Rick, now that we've got the accolades out of the way, I want to get down to the business and what's happening, and I really kind of want to put you on the hot seat. You know, you've caused a lot of controversy in the Mid-South. You made a statement that you don't fully have the authority to make when you said the only person in the Mid-South you'd wrestle would be the North American champion.
Well, Bill, as you know, being the world heavyweight champion, I have a lot of input. And even though I might not have the last word, I have a lot of influence with Bob Geigel, the president, and Jim Crockett, the booker for the National Wrestling Alliance World Heavyweight Champion. And all I've done is I've made sure that by coming into the Mid-South, I'm wrestling your #1 man, and that's the only one.
Well, you're supposed to defend the world's title here on South Television next week. We've submitted 3 names to Bob Geigel. I think everybody out there knows who they are. Do you know if a decision has been reached as which one of these men you'll defend the title against next week?
Yes, I do know a decision has been reached. I'm not going to tell you who it is, because I'm doing everything I can right now to switch that match.
You know, Rick, I want to say one thing. I've always respected you, but I think the pressure's getting you. And the thing that I've really bothered with is the $25,000 you paid Dick Slater, and then the fact that we caught you a couple of weeks later in Houston, adding what we've been told is another $25,000 to a $50,000 bounty for Slater to do your dirty work and take Butch Reed out of the picture.
Well, Bill, let's just slow down for a second. First of all, when you're the world heavyweight champion and you're an affluent member of one of the greatest societies in the world today, the United States, you have money to spend for different things. Now, I saw fit to involve Dick Slater in a personal issue with mine because I don't like Butch Reed. I don't like what he's for. But as of right now, nothing's happened to Butch Reed, and I don't have my $50,000.
Well,
Dick Slater was supposed to be here tonight. He's not here, and I want to know why.
Let me show you something that happened last week where Dick Slater claimed that he'd returned that money to you. Let's look at that when Reed confronted him.
Hey, you got $25,000 for me, sucker? Huh? You won't take $25,000 off of me, boy? Huh? And let me tell you something, girl. I'm black, and I'm proud of it, you hear me? I know what I am. The trouble is you don't know who you are. You trying to be something that you ain't. I'm going to tell you that right now. You trying to be something that you not. Hey! What? What do you think of this, Hulk? Let me tell you something, heifer. You know that black men don't treat women like white men when it comes to slapping on them. So let me tell you this one thing, tramp. When you put your hands on me again, I'm gonna knock you smooth out. And let me tell you something, back jumper. Let me tell you something, back jumper Slater. You got $25,000 to take out on my head. I'm gonna give you a chance to make your money, sucker. I'm gonna turn my back on you, and you back jump me when I walk away. Take your best shot, boy. I'm sorry. Here. Hold it, wait a minute, Butch Reed. Just wait a minute. I'm going to tell you something right now. The $25,000 that I got from Ric Flair for the North American heavyweight champion, I gave him the money back. I don't want anything to do with you. I don't want anything to do with Ric Flair. You all can beat each other to death. As far as I'm concerned, you can win the world heavyweight title. Hey. Let me tell you something, Slater. Money back. I don't want it. I don't care. You a lie, and you full of something I can't say on TV. But, sucker, I'm going to tell you this. This is the best shot you're going to get all night. So you better take it right now. Here.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is one explosive situation. Look at Slater. Joe, look at Slater on the monitor. He gave the money back. They're getting Hacksaw Butch Reed. They're having to... The referees are down here. Hacksaw Butch Reed was ready. I said he was the man. He is the man.
I gave him the money back. Butch Reed's got the money back. I don't want a piece of Butch Reed.
Maybe that's the reason Butch Reed's not here today, because you heard that statement. He said he has returned the $50,000 to you, and he's not looking to collect that bounty on Butch Reed, and he knew you were going to be here today.
Well, I've known Dick Slater a long time. His word has always been good. Right now, I'm a little disappointed. I don't have the $50,000 back.
You mean
but
he
in
still,
the word,
he still has it?
In my eyes, he still has it because it's not in my hand. But being the great champion I am and being the great competitor I am, Bill Watts, I'm telling you, and I'm telling all the fans in the Mid-South that when I get Butch Reed in that ring, and I want him there any time to get in it, I'll take care of Butch Reed myself. I don't like Butch Reed, but I'll take care of myself right there in that ring anytime he's man enough to show me that he can face Ric Flair on a one-on-one situation.
Well, I know you're going to wrestle today, later on TV, and you've got to get up and change into your wrestling gear. But maybe next week you'll get the chance to take care of Butch Reed because he's one of the names we submitted to Bob Gaggle.
Well, let's not talk about Butch Reed. As you said earlier, I'm going to be in that ring, and I'm going to show these fans why, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I'm the greatest wrestler alive and why Mid-South brings Ric Flair in as the World Heavyweight Champion.
Well, thank you. We'll be back with more action in the ring after these words from our sponsor.
Finally got yourself in a crack. You running around here and you lying, and you cheating, and you doing a whole lot of dirty dealing trying to make me believe that you don't have $50,000 on my head. Well, let me tell you, sucker, whether you got the $50,000 or not, don't make me no difference. I know you Butch Reed out, so before it happens to me, it's going to happen to you. So you get ready, Slater, because I'm more than enough man to take you out.
You know, baby, the more I think about it, I didn't want to deal with Ric Flair. I don't really want to deal with Hacksaw Butch.